It all started, you see, on a crisp autumn afternoon. The kind where fallen leaves crunch underfoot and the air smells of damp earth. I was taking my usual shortcut through the old industrial park, a place most people definitely avoid, when I saw it. Tucked away in a discarded cardboard box, half buried under some rusted metal scraps, there she was. A doll. Not a child's toy, mind you, but an old porcelain doll. The kind with delicate painted features and glassy eyes. Her dress was faded, her hair a tangle, yes, but there was something about her, something almost compelling. I don't know why, but I felt an inexplicable urge to pick her up. Just a bit of antique charm, I remember thinking, trying to rationalize it. I cleaned her up when I got home, placed her on a shelf in my living room, and promptly forgot about her. Or so I thought.
The first few nights were quiet, unsettling perhaps, but quiet. Then it began. Soft, barely audible whispers. At first, I dismissed them as the house settling, or perhaps the wind playing tricks with the old windows. I live in a pretty old place, after all. But these weren't the creaks and groans of an aging structure. These were voices, faint, ethereal, like a murmur just beyond the edge of hearing. It was always after midnight, when the world outside went truly silent. I'd be trying to fall asleep, and then there it was, a delicate, almost childish lilt just out of reach. I'd sit bolt upright, my heart hammering, straining to hear, but as soon as I focused, it would vanish, leaving only the oppressive silence. I started leaving the TV on a low volume, just to have some background noise, some kind of anchor to reality. The whispers grew bolder, or perhaps my ears just became attuned to them. One night I was dozing off when a distinct sound, a soft, drawn-out syllable, pulled me from the brink of sleep. It was my name. Jerry! A breathy, almost playful sound, like a child calling from another room. My blood ran cold. This wasn't the wind, wasn't the house. This was direct, personal. I snapped awake, throwing off my covers, a cold sweat beading on my forehead. I turned on every light in the house, my eyes darting from shadow to shadow. The doll, sitting on the shelf, seemed to watch me, her porcelain smile unchanging, yet somehow now menacing. I told myself it was sleep deprivation, a stressed mind playing tricks. But deep down, a primal fear had awakened.
I knew I had to do something. The whispers, the feeling of being watched, it was all too much. I couldn't throw the doll away. A strange superstition held me back, a fear of what might happen if I discarded it. So I decided to move it into the attic, a dark, forgotten space, surely out of earshot, out of sight, out of mind. That night, with trembling hands, I carefully carried the doll upstairs. The attic was suffocatingly hot, filled with forgotten memories and dust motes dancing in the beam of my flashlight. I placed her in an old wooden trunk, deep in the corner, and slammed the lid shut, hoping to seal away the unsettling presence. As I descended the creaking stairs, a faint sigh seemed to echo from above, a sound that made the hairs on my arms stand on end.
Moving her didn't stop it. If anything, it made it worse. The whispers now seemed to emanate from everywhere, from the vents, from behind the walls, even from under my bed. They were no longer soft and ethereal, but sharper, more insistent. And they weren't just calling my name anymore. They were laughing. A high-pitched, mocking giggle that pierced the silence of the night, sometimes accompanied by the sound of small, shuffling footsteps overhead in the attic. I started experiencing vivid, terrifying nightmares, dreams of the doll scanning over me, her porcelain face cracking into a monstrous grin. I was sleep-deprived, jumpy, and constantly on edge. My apartment, once a sanctuary, now felt like a cage, every shadow a potential threat.
Then came the night. The whispers turned into a demand. I was lying in bed, trying desperately to block out the incessant chattering, when it coalesced into a clear, chilling voice right beside my ear. It wasn't the childish lilt anymore. It was deeper, older, filled with a cold malice. "Let me out, Jerry." My breath hitched in my throat. I couldn't move, paralyzed by fear. I could only listen as the voice continued, slowly, deliberately. "You picked me up. You brought me home. Now, let me out." A series of small, rhythmic thumps began from the attic, like something relentlessly hitting the inside of the trunk. Each thud vibrated through the ceiling, through the floor, straight into my bones. The air grew heavy, thick with a palpable malevolence. I knew, with a horrifying certainty, that it wasn't just a doll. It was something else, something trapped, something that wanted out.
The thumping continued, growing louder, more desperate. It sounded like something was trying to break free, something with immense, unnatural strength. The whispers had become a frantic chorus, a cacophony of demanding voices, all urging me to let me out. My mind raced, grappling with the impossible. What did it mean to let it out? Open the trunk? Bring it back downstairs? Or something far more sinister? I was caught in a terrifying dilemma. To ignore it felt like courting disaster, an unleashing of something truly malevolent. To comply felt like surrendering to an unknown, unspeakable horror. The room grew colder. The shadows seemed to deepen and writhe. I could almost feel a presence looming over me, a heavy, suffocating weight. The whispers intensified, becoming a piercing shriek that echoed in my mind.
I don't know what I did that night. The next morning, I woke up on the floor of my bedroom, shivering, my throat raw from screaming. The house was silent, eerily silent, too silent. I crept upstairs, my heart in my mouth, and peered into the attic. The trunk was open, empty. The doll was gone. I searched everywhere frantically, but there was no trace of her. The whispers stopped after that night. No more calls, no more demands, no more laughter. But the silence is worse. Now, every creak, every shadow, every unexpected sound makes me jump. I sleep with all the lights on, a crucifix clutched in my hand. I hear things in the periphery, see things in the corner of my eye. I'm always looking over my shoulder, always checking the locks, because I know it's still out there. And sometimes, when I'm alone, I feel a cold breath on my neck and a faint, sweet scent of old porcelain, reminding me that the doll I should have left behind